In a small Georgia diner, a black family stopped for breakfast. Moments later, a sheriff's hand gripped a teenage boy's arm and the entire room held its breath. What no one knew, the boy's father wasn't just any man. He was a decorated Navy SEAL trained to dismantle threats in silence. And while the sheriff thought he was intimidating a helpless family, he had unknowingly poked a lion. What happened next? It would expose a county's buried secrets, ignite a national firestorm, and prove that justice, real justice, doesn't ask. It fights back. This is the story they tried to bury. The sun rose over Georgia highways as Darius Samuels packed the final bag into his SUV. It had been a peaceful weekend in Savannah. Family stories, Aunt Martha's home cooking, and the kind of laughter that loosened the weight of the world. His wife Tasha checked directions in the passenger seat, while their son Malik complained from the back about school. They were just a regular family heading home. But the man behind the wheel wasn't regular. Darius had served 20 years in the Navy SEALs. He could read a battlefield with a glance. And though his camouflage was gone, his instincts never retired. "Let's stop for real breakfast," Tasha said. "Not just gas station coffee." Darius nodded, scanning the signs for something local. They exited the highway, weaving into the back roads of Oakwood County. The diner they pulled into, paint peeling, flag fading, looked like a throwback to another era, one they hadn't been invited into. Inside, conversations slowed when the Samuels family walked through the door. Eyes flicked up. Some watched, others turned away. Darius caught it all. His training demanded it, and so did the Confederate flag hanging near the kitchen. The waitress, Betty, barely masked her coldness as she led them to a booth. Malik's eyes lingered on the flag. "Do we really want to eat here?" he whispered. "We sit, we eat, we exist," Darius replied calmly. "That's how we resist." The coffee was bitter. The air was tighter, but Darius kept his voice steady, discussing college applications and Malik's robotics project like everything was normal. That was the lesson he wanted to teach his son, how to be unshakable even in the middle of a storm. Then the bell jingled. Boots on linoleum. The air shifted. Officer Mallister. He didn't need to say a word. His badge did all the talking. He walked slowly, deliberately, eyes sweeping the diner until they landed on Malik. "You folks from around here?" he asked, hovering. "We're heading home from a family visit," Tasha answered, voice polite but firm. Mallister smirked, pulling out his notepad. "You match a description. We had trouble last night, young guy. Your son's age." "I was with my parents," Malik said, heart racing. "Got ID. He's a minor," Darius said. "You're talking to his parents." The officer's smile faded. "Step out of the booth, boy." Darius's tone never wavered. "He's done nothing wrong. Stand up, son. That's an order." Malik looked to his father. Darius nodded once. A signal. Malik began to rise. Slowly, cautiously, and then Mallister grabbed his arm. Everything stopped. The clatter of forks, the hum of voices, even the sizzling grill seemed to freeze. All eyes turned to the booth. Darius didn't move, but something shifted in his posture, a change the SEALs would recognize in a heartbeat. The stillness before impact. The waitress dropped her coffee pot. Then Darius stood. One fluid motion. No violence, no threat, just power, precision. With his left hand he pried the officer's fingers off his son's arm. With his right he redirected Mallister's gun hand before it could even twitch. In seconds the officer was on the ground, disarmed, humiliated, and breathing hard. The entire diner sat stunned. Then something fell from Darius's jacket. His ID wallet. Silver badge. Rows of medals. A Navy SEAL. A Silver Star recipient. The man Mallister tried to bully was trained to take down terrorists. A single voice whispered, "That's not just any man." And just like that, the story was no longer local, it was national. The diner went silent as the badge gleamed in the sunlight. United States Navy SEAL, Silver Star, Bronze Star with Valor, and a dozen more ribbons that screamed one undeniable truth. Darius Samuels was not the man to be trifled with. Mallister, red-faced and pinned on the floor, sputtered, "You assaulted an officer." Darius didn't flinch. "I de-escalated a threat to my son." The phones were out now, customers recording from every angle, and one elderly veteran, eyes wide, read the ID aloud like scripture. Silver Star, Navy SEAL, Combat Tours. The words hung in the air like a lit fuse. And Mallister, he just lit it. Sirens wailed in the distance. Mallister smirked. Backup's coming. You're done. Darius stepped back, raised his hands, calm, composed, professional. Let them come. Moments later, squad cars stormed the lot. Darius was cuffed. Tasha screamed. Malik shouted. Phones rolled. The world watched. Assaulting an officer, Mallister lied. He resisted arrest. But the videos told another story. And those who saw what really happened, they knew the truth. Tasha and Malik were driven out of town. Cards declined. Motel doors shut. No lawyers answering. Phones mysteriously disconnected. A quiet war had begun, and the Samuels family was isolated in enemy territory. Until one knock changed everything. A woman named Jada Freeman, owner of a local cafe, whispered through a cracked window. I saw it all, and I know who your husband really is. She ushered them into her home, fed them, and laid it all out. Sheriff Dale Cotton has been running Oakwood like his own kingdom. Threats, evidence tampering, silencing complaints. But your husband's case? That's the crack we've been waiting for. Jada had spent years documenting Cotton's crimes. But now, with the diner footage and a decorated veteran in custody, she had something she'd never had before: leverage. Tasha's voice trembled with fury. They took him without charges. No phone call. No attorney. They want to make him disappear, Jada said. But we won't let them. That night, they went public. Jada uploaded the diner video to every social media platform she could find. Within hours it exploded. Shame-free Darius. Shield system. Unsealed justice. Journalists. Activists. Ordinary Americans. They all started sharing, commenting, demanding answers. Then Tasha went live on national TV, wearing her teacher's blazer. Voice calm but fierce, she said, "My husband served this country with honor, and now that same country is letting a corrupt sheriff lock him up for protecting his son." Photos flashed across the screen. Darius in uniform. Darius with his SEAL team. Darius receiving medals from 2 presidents. "This isn't just about our family," Tasha said. "It's about every family that's ever been silenced, profiled, threatened. We are not staying quiet." The internet exploded. In Oakwood, Sheriff Cotton raged. He sent deputies to intimidate Jada, had her windows smashed, her cafe trashed. Meanwhile, Malik was attacked by 3 local boys, including the son of a deputy. He fought back with everything his father had taught him. But he left the fight bloodied, concussed, and in the hospital. When Darius saw his son's face, bruised and bandaged, he said only one thing: "They think violence will stop us. They still don't understand who we are." At the same time, 2 men in suits arrived in Oakwood under cover of darkness. FBI, Civil Rights Division. Quietly they'd been watching, listening, building. Then came the final push. A bodycam video leaked from Mallister's department. Doctored footage showing Darius attacking first, but online sleuths, video experts, and even witnesses destroyed it in hours. "This angle is wrong. This timestamp's fake. Where's the audio?" The truth couldn't be buried. Not this time. And then, like a crack in glass, Cotton's empire began to shatter. But what would he do next to silence the one man he couldn't control? Oakwood County Jail went into lockdown. Sheriff Cotton stormed through its corridors, barking orders. "No visitors. No lawyers. We're moving the seal now." He wasn't just scared. He was desperate. But in his cell, Darius Samuels wasn't panicking. He was preparing. He'd memorized guard rotations, counted the steps between gates, mapped the blind spots in the security cameras. This wasn't prison. This was training. And Cotton had just made a tactical error, trying to outmaneuver a Navy SEAL. Then came the moment. Fake medical emergency. "Prisoner down," a sympathetic guard shouted. Deputies rushed in. Bad idea. Darius struck with surgical precision. Elbow to sternum. Spin. Disable. Leverage. A panel slammed open. Alarms blared. He didn't run. He stood firm. And then, federal agents. "Drop your weapons." He was too slow. The next image burned across America's screens. Darius Samuels, hands cuffed, calm and composed, walking out flanked by FBI. Behind him, Sheriff Cotton was face down on the floor. It was over. Except it wasn't. Outside the jail, Tasha and Malik waited in tears. They hadn't seen Darius in days. The reunion was silent, fierce. A family reformed in the heat of justice. But Darius didn't stop. That afternoon, in full Navy dress blues, he stood before a national press corps. My name is Senior Chief Petty Officer Darius Samuels. I bled for this country, and I was thrown in a cage for protecting my son. Gasps, clicks, flashbulbs. They wanted to break us. Instead, they've woken us. Tasha stepped up beside him, then Malik, then Jada, and then the bombshell. A federal civil rights lawsuit, 27 victims, 12 years of corruption, and evidence tying Cotton to conspiracies, cover-ups and payoffs. That night, social media became a war zone. But the Samuels family didn't back down. Instead, they built something bigger. Honor and Voice, a community program to teach kids self-defense, legal rights and strength through discipline. Malik's mission, a scholarship fund to send kids of color into STEM programs. Jada's Cafe became the unofficial town hall, where truth brewed stronger than coffee. And the county, it changed. New police force, new leaders, new murals of heroes, not traitors. Even the diner where it all began, under new ownership, diverse staff, Confederate flags replaced with American values. But not everyone accepted change. One night Malik was jumped again. Bats, pipes, racist slurs. He fought back. He survived. This time the attackers were arrested. No cover-up, no deputy's kid protected. Because Oakwood wasn't sleeping anymore. Then came the final blow. Sheriff Cotton on the courthouse steps caught on a hot mic whispering, "Make him disappear, just like the others." FBI was listening, recording. He was arrested in front of reporters, supporters, and his own hired mob. Handcuffed, humiliated, history, and Malister, tracked across state lines, tackled at a truck stop. No badge could save him now. The empire had fallen. 6 months later, Malik stood at a podium, high school graduation, valedictorian, headed to Stanford on a full ride. "My story isn't rare," he said, voice steady. "But what my family did with it, that's what matters. We fought back, and now we teach others how to fight." In the crowd, Tasha held Darius's hand. Their faces were tired, weathered, but undefeated. Behind them, the mural on Jada's Cafe shimmered in the golden light. Martin Luther King Jr., John Lewis, and the Samuels family. Legends. When Malik finished his speech, he looked straight at his father. "This one's for you, Dad." Darius stood slowly, proud, fists clenched, not in anger, but in honor. And as the sun set over a town that once tried to silence them, one truth echoed louder than ever. Justice doesn't beg. It rises, and when it does, it brings hell with it. If this story moved you, like, share, and drop a comment below. Let the world know justice can't be silenced. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next story is even more powerful.